Anything is possible if you've got enough nerve. Ginny Weasley spoke these great words in the sixth book of the Harry Potter series written by J.K. Rowling. However, the one we credit for combining this quote is J.K. Rowling. She was given the opportunity to speak at a Harvard commencement in 2008. Harvard simply could not have found a better candidate for the things that she chose to talk about because it encapsulated her in 2 words, basically. Just some things about J.K. Rowling is she is a world-renowned author. If you have read many books, you probably know her name. She is like one of the highest, 2 highest paid and known authors ever. And then before all this fame and glory, she struggled through many things. She was broke. She was a single mom. She was living off welfare and struggled through rejection multiple times. This ended up to her being depressed and struggling in a lot of things. She was rejected for Harry Potter 12 times, and then on the 13th time, she got it published, and this became one of the greatest success stories known. So when and where it was given at the Harvard commencement in 2008, in June in Boston, Massachusetts, which is where Harvard is. And then why did this will endure? There are multiple reasons, but it basically told people what they needed to hear at this time. They have just coming up, graduating and entering the workforce, and she talked about it's okay to fail and creativity is important. So being able to hear those words from someone like her right after you graduate is a life-changing thing. Anyone that is existing, hearing that failure is okay is a great relief because that is something that everyone is scared about. Another reason is her credibility on the topic of failure and creativeness. She failed so poorly, she was at such a low point, and her creativity is what brought her up to where she is now. The final thing is who actually spoke it. J.K. Rowling is such a well-known name. People follow her from everywhere, and she has such a great following that anything she creates, basically, people are going to enjoy for years to come. The significance now and then, so what was going on in 2008 was the economy was just a mess. It was a stressful time for most people, and basically safe jobs were encouraged, ones that'll get you money consistently, no out of the box thinking, just be able to pay your rent. At this time, creativity wasn't valued, and failure would have caused potentially poverty. So there's that extra pressure, as failure wasn't an option simply, especially for those going out into the workforce. And it kind of was related today, just because COVID is kind of a similar situation, just based off of the fact that there are so many people that don't have the opportunity to be able to go and try these new things, and therefore it's kind of into like a cookie cutter form, just having to find what will pay the bills in this certain time, because jobs are being let go and just stuff like that. And at any time, hearing that failure is okay, obviously people will want to be able to hear that for many, many years. J.K. Rowling used many rhetorical devices in this. The first one was illusion. She states in the early start that she is nervous and just pretends that she is at the world's largest Gryffindor reunion. This not only starts some laughs, but calms some nerves, and it causes great imagery just from the colored comparison. If you know anything about Harry Potter, Gryffindor is maroon and gold, and then Harvard is maroon and white. The second one is metaphor. This one, she talked about how her parents didn't trust her, and they told her that in being an author, you won't be able to even just pay your mortgage. She said the irony strikes with the force of a cartoon animal now. That irony is a great word for that, because not only is she just simply paying off her mortgage, she is one of the most successful writers ever. The final one is a simile, and she just compared her life to a fairy tale, basically, which could not be more accurate in my opinion. She started so low, and just based off of something that very few people succeed at, she became what she is now.
The fears that my parents had had for me and that I had had for myself had both come to pass. And by every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that failure is fun. That period of my life was a dark one, and I had no idea that there was going to be what the press has since represented as a kind of fairy tale resolution. I had no idea then how far the tunnel extended, and for a long time, any light at the end of it was a hope rather than a reality. So why do I talk about the benefits of failure? Simply because failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I
And then finally, she uses a great example of ethos, pathos, and logos. The ethos she uses, basically her life is her credibility. What actually happened from her doing these things, having failed and being creative, causes people to simply just believe in that and back her up in the fact that that is possible. And then the second one, pathos, she plays with kind of the emotion just based off how low she is. Her struggles in life, such as like being divorced, welfare, single mom, rejection, and then depression, this caused us to feel for her and have some sympathy. The final one is logos, and this seems more like proof because she ended up on the other side of this good. It is an example of how she failed, was said, and she used creativity to push her over the edge and become a successful author. Thank you.